Music to share. And we're off. I think it is Wednesday, May 25th, 2022 AD, 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. I'm going to have a fun show for you, hopefully. A Wednesday show. And by the way, we have a Bon Archive Sunday service premiere. And I put out a new, just a little side note, I put out a new Subscribe Star post on my Subscribe Star. Thank you to the supporters on Subscribe Star, as well as the supporters everywhere else. If you want access to that stuff and like you already support me in so many other ways, just contact me. I'll send you the playlist. But we're going to talk about this shooting and other shootings. The one that happened when I was in high school, the Columbine one. I have a long Bill Clinton's speech press conference from that very night, 4/20/1999. And, you know, a little report. You can call in, guys. I will plug the sources, you know, the news and the data sources which I would recommend you checking out. And we may take a look at what the experts recommend in terms of talking to the kids about this stuff. And don't say his name. Don't say his name. Don't say his name. George Floyd. George Floyd. That's my second favorite caller, Earl in Michigan. That's my impression of him. And let's talk about the primaries. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. Have some super chats to read. You can call in, but shall we? This is kind of a long clip. It's almost 10 minutes long. So let me get right to this. You guys remember, you know and love Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton. What a bad president. People say he was a good president. People say, oh, he balanced the budget. Republicans kind of forced him. I don't know. Don't care. But he was evil. He was a liar. This is 5 months after he was impeached. He was impeached in December 1998. And here he is on 4/20, April 20th, 1999. I have this clip 11. Hopefully it works. I got this straight from Wikipedia about the Columbine High School massacre. I'd like to compare it a little bit to how the people are talking much more shamelessly today, but the roots of the evil and the weakness. If you didn't catch the experts segment on the J.C. Lee Peterson show, we talked about some of the misguided ways of being and thinking about things. Why is the federal government even involved? Are they doing more harm than good by bringing all this national and international attention on this stuff? Copycat crimes, you know? Well, Bill Clinton, here he is speaking after the Columbine, what's called a high school massacre, when I was a senior in high school. But I wasn't at Columbine. I was in over here in the suburbs of L.A. Here it is. Listen to this. And I'll try not to chime in too much, but I'll chime in a little bit because it's kind of interesting. Here's Bill Clinton trying to be somber. Master tape. Looking so young, healthy.
I want to begin by saying that Hillary and I are profoundly shocked and saddened by the tragedy today in Littleton, where two students opened fire on their classmates before apparently turning their guns on themselves. I have spoken with Governor Bill Owens and County Commission Chair Patricia Holloway and expressed my profound concern for the people of Littleton. I have spoken to Deputy Attorney General Eric Holder, and who, along with Attorney General Reno, is closely monitoring the situation. I've asked the Attorney General and the Secretary of Education to stand ready to assist local law enforcement, the schools, the families, the entire community during this time of crisis and sorrow. A crisis response team is ready now to travel to Colorado, and I strongly believe that we should do whatever we can to get enough counselors to the families and the children as quickly as possible. I know the other communities that have been through this are also ready to do whatever they can to help.
Counselors to the children.
I think that Patricia Holloway would not mind if I said that amidst all the turmoil and grief that she and others are experiencing, she said to me just a moment ago that perhaps now America would wake up to the dimensions of this challenge if it could happen in a place like Littleton, and we could prevent anything like this from happening again. We pray that she is right. Woman. We don't know yet all the hows or whys of this tragedy. Perhaps we may never fully understand it. St. Paul reminds us that we all see things in this life through a glass darkly, that we only partly understand what is happening. The Bible reference. We do know that we must do more to reach out to our children and teach them to express their anger and to resolve their conflicts with words, not weapons.
Oh, so clever.
And we do know we have to do more to recognize the early warning signs that are sent before children act violently. To the families who have lost their loved ones, to the parents who have lost their beloved children, to the wounded children and their families, to the people of the community of Littleton, I can only say tonight that the prayers of the American people are with you. Thank you very much.
Prayers of the people who voted him in office.
Is there anything additional that you can say or that the federal government can do to prevent things like this from happening?
Well, I think on this case, it's very, very important that we have the facts insofar as we can find them out. You know, we had the conference here last fall. The Attorney General and the Secretary of Education prepared the handbook for all the schools that we asked to be widely used. And we do have, from bitter and sad experience, a great cadre of very good, effective grief counselors.
Yeah, right.
My guess is that they will be needed in abundance there for the children. I think after a little time has passed, we need to have a candid assessment about what more we can do to try to prevent these things from happening.
Mr. President, there seems to be an epidemic of these kinds of incidents now. There was Paducah, Kentucky, Jonesboro, Arkansas, Springfield, Oregon, and several others. Would you characterize this as an epidemic affecting the nation's school system?
I wouldn't want to use that word. What I would like to know is whether we can take it, we can learn enough from this, which in its dimensions apparently is much greater than even the others were, and see what else we can do. I had a very interesting conversation this afternoon with Congresswoman Carolyn McCarthy, who, as all of you know, lost her own husband, and son sustained a wound as a result of a shooting incident on a commuter train. And that's what we talked about. And I think tonight we owe it to the people of Littleton and to the families involved in this tragedy to let them go through the grieving and deal and try to get the facts. And then the rest of us have a responsibility to do everything we can to make sure this doesn't make 1999 a year like last year, that we don't have another rash of this, that we really can be more effective in preventing it. And
It's only gotten
I
worse.
wish I could say more tonight, but I don't think I can.
Mr. President,
Have you been told, sir, that the death toll is as high as the 25 figure that we've heard? And secondly, sir, every time one of these things happens, we go through this course of hand-wringing and say, we've got to stop it from happening again. Is there anything specific and concrete that you'd like to see happen that hasn't happened yet?
Well, I don't want to make it. There are, but what I would like to do is take a couple of days, because we don't know what the facts are here. And keep in mind,
Which guns to go after?
the community is an open wound right now. They have suffered as much as anyone can suffer. This is the largest group of fatalities, whatever the numbers are. And I've heard various numbers, even as much as 5 minutes ago, right before I came out. I'd like to answer that question, but I think anything I say tonight could only add to the pain of the people in Littleton and not serve to solve the problem. So I will answer that question when I have more facts and after we let a little time pass.
Mr. President, you said you pray that people will wake up. Wake up to what, sir?
Wake up to what?
Well, I think, there are a lot of kids out there
There it is.
who have access to weapons, and apparently more than guns here, and who build up these grievances in their own mind, and who are not being reached. And it's not just Littleton. We know that now. We've had lots and lots and lots of places. So I don't know how many of you have been there, but I've actually been there. I know the community, and it's a wonderful place. And I think I can't do better than what Patricia Holloway said, the commission chair. If it can happen here, then surely people will recognize that they have to be alive to the possibility that it could occur in any community in America, and maybe that will help us to keep it from happening again. But
Yeah, right.
you know what we put out before, the efforts we've made, and I just think that tonight we need to focus on the families that lost their kids, on the children that are wounded, on the grieving of the community.
Why?
And give this thing a day or two for the facts to emerge, and then I'll try to have more to say to you.
On just that point, Mr. President, at the time you had that conference last year, your administration said that students are still safer sitting in a classroom than they are walking down the street. Do you think Americans still think that's true? Do you think that's true?
Well, statistically, for all the whole 53 million kids in our schools, it's true. But, from the facts we're hearing about what happened at this school and the possibility that explosives were out there, that hand grenades were available, that other things were there, that it obviously wasn't true there. That was obviously the most dangerous place in Colorado today. So I don't want to, but that shouldn't make people believe that every school is in danger. What it should make every community do is to study this handbook we put out and see what lessons can be learned here.
What handbook?
But again, tonight I think the American people ought to be thinking about those folks from Littleton. Tomorrow and in the days ahead, we'll have more time to kind of gather ourselves and our determination and go back at this again. Thank you.
Just emotional hype propaganda. Why is this anything other than a local issue, really? When will we enact some sensible media controls to stop this from happening again, says Name Them. Yeah. Can you believe it? He had Eric Holder, the evil Eric Holder, evil Obama AG, Eric Holder as Deputy Attorney General. He was the second highest law enforcement guy in the country. That evil guy who wanted to brainwash the masses against guns. Eric Holder, black guy. Sort of light-skinned, radical. And Janet Reno, right? Wasn't it Janet Reno, the AG? I was searching for the name of the female Secretary of State under Bill Clinton, because I had played clips of her. That was Madeleine Albright, guys. Madeleine Albright. I had played clips that I got from Modern Politics over there on Odyssey. Shout out. because I got some info from Modern Politics that I shared, what was that, yesterday? On, I forget what I was talking about there. But interesting information, huh? I forgot all about, I didn't remember Eric Holder being in there. That's disgusting. And Janet Reno, evil Janet Reno, isn't she not, well, I don't want to speculate. Was she the one who was governor of like Arizona? Ugh, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking Napolitano, Janet Napolitano. There's so many of these like dykey female political powerful people who get in office and wreak mess. Crisis response team. Why is a federal crisis response team going to a school where, yeah, 25 people die, that's a lot, but what business is it of the federal government and the national media except for hype? And yeah, human nature, it's paying attention to it. I'm paying attention to these things right now, right? Counselors to the families and to the children. Grief counselors. What kind of a name is a grief counselor? You see the misguiding aspects, roots were already there. Teach the children to express their anger. That's not good. He said, teach the children, we need to teach the children to express their anger. With words, not weapons. Oh, words better than weapons, right? But how about drop the anger? Don't be angry. And he kept on calling them children. In this case, in the 1999, they were not children. They were high schoolers. Yeah, legally they're children. To parents, they look like children, but they're high schoolers. You know, some of the freshmen are kind of small, pretty small. Some people stay small throughout their high school days, but anything the federal government can do something, federal government. I wonder what was in his little handbook that he was pushing out on people. Maybe there's some decent information, right? I'm sure. And then Wolf Blitzer, the evil CNN guy, the communist. Is Wolf Blitzer married to a black woman? Like so many, or am I confusing him with like George Lucas or something like that? Wolf Blitzer wanted Bill Clinton to call it an epidemic. Even back then, the commie, was he with CNN back then too? Wolf Blitzer. Rattling off a bunch of other instances. I don't know. Anyway, let me tell you about what went down yesterday. According to the mainstream media, Clinton was all right compared to Biden or Obama. He was a stepping stone to Biden and Obama. Kind of like this capitalism without morality, freedom without morality, is a stepping stone to communism and total destruction. The far-left female-run outlet The Skim quotes this Senator Chris Murphy guy, one of the youngest senators to be elected back in, 2012? Something like that. He's all, what are we doing? Why are we here? He's pleading that his colleagues take a male Democrat. Look at this guy. He looks kind of like James O'Keefe, except dumb and evil. A male Democrat. How embarrassing. And he looks like he's white, but he's not a normal white. I mean, all right. Are Irish and Polish normal whites? What kind of Polish was he? He was pleading that his colleagues take action on gun control. He's the author of the 2020 book called The Violence Inside Us. And this book cover has a finger on it, and it looks like a POC finger to me. It doesn't look like a white finger. Interesting. Appropriate. Or am I wrong? A brief history of an ongoing American tragedy. Chris Murphy. Murphy, isn't that an Irish last name? I think that he is he's a liberal. I think he's a lawyer/liar. Murphy, that is. Evil guy. And he's documented this, the drama of the violence inside us. Let me tell you a little bit about this book, because it talks about Oh, yeah, he was elected in 2012, youngest member of the U.S. Senate. A serious legislator. Stand up for his principles. He doesn't have principles. He has ideologies. Mess. America isn't a leader. In many ways, the United States sets the pace for other nations to follow on the most important human concern, the need to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe from physical harm. America isn't a leader. Well, when you correct for the black population, we're not doing the worst, I don't think. It's the truth. I heard it. But yeah, we are on decline because we're following these corrupt European countries. We're disturbingly laggard. Carefully researched and emotional book, Senator Chris Murphy of, what state is he from? Connecticut. He dissects our country's violence-filled history. And it's kind of interesting because some of the comments on this book talk about, oh, my family, my great-grandfather, in 1764, one person says, my sixth great-grandparents were murdered and scalped by Simon Girty and a group of so-called Native Americans, meaning American Indians, whose reign of terror was waged to scare settlers out of the Shenandoah Valley. And then another one says, poverty, racial animosity, and above all, guns are to blame for America's, quote, morbid circus of human carnage, unquote. I don't know whose quote that is. Argues this wonky but fervent debut. So this guy is blaming poverty, which we don't have. We have less poverty than ever. Even in the 80s and 90s when we had the craziest so-called gun violence, which I wonder if today is as bad as back then. I don't know, but maybe not, but maybe. And guns are to blame for America's morbid human carnage. What a shallow person. This guy's supposed to be an Irishman, which is to say he should be a Catholic, right? Aren't all Irish supposed to be Catholic? Chris Murphy, United States Senator. Early life section. Let's go to early life section. Born in 1973, White Plains, New York, to Catherine A. Born Lewczyk, Lewczyzyk. I think that's a Polish last name. A Polish what? I don't know. Irish and Polish descent. Scott Murphy, his dad. Father was a corporate litigator, a lawyer, liar. And his mother, a retired ESL teacher, English as a second language teacher at an elementary school in Connecticut. 2 younger siblings, sister and a brother. Brother's Ben. And so now he's a liberal. Grew up to be a liberal. And a sleazy person. And he's pushing this poverty causes crime lie. By the liberals. By the liberals. What an evil sucker, huh? Anyway, I'll tell you more about the shooting. Let me get to a call or two. Let's mix things up, right? You can call in 888-775-3773. By the way, I am wearing my Bond t-shirt, one of my Bond t-shirts, Rebuilding the Family by Rebuilding the Man, Army green. I don't know if it's army green, but forest, cool green, very nice green. Not a cool green, but it's a awesome color. Rebuildingtheman.com/stores. Let me read a few super chats before I get to calls, actually. Nobody gave a super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report and states, thanks for reading the skim to let us know that May is National Mango Month. I don't eat a lot of mangoes, but they are pretty tasty. Did I say that? Mango ice cream is refreshingly different. Mango boba tea is great. And green mango salsa is excellent. Well, thank you. I don't remember saying that it was National Mango Month. I did say the big M, which I like that interpretation. Animus is the name of this super chatter, who says, do you know / enjoy Rammstein? Rammstein? Somebody else asked me that last time. In case you don't know, it's a German heavy metal band. They are pretty liberal, though. Is that accurate? Are they heavy metal? Animus? Rammstein? Okay. Industrial metal. Yeah. I only ever heard Du hast. Which I think is you have me or something like that. And he doesn't want to marry the woman. He's like, you have me. But then it was translated, I heard, to you hate me. And reworded, right? Because that's not the original meaning. But whatever. That's what somebody else said. Last time you brought up Rammstein. It's like you gave me super chats and you don't listen for the answer. But thank you, Animus. I appreciate it. And thank you for the support. As always, very kind. Stephen Absolution, speaking of metal, says, hey, Hake, hope all is well. Shout out to Galaxy Brain Chris. Nice. We got to get the trans and drags back in straight jackets. Can we get some music with some double bass? As in double bass drums. That's metal, right? The only music with double bass drums is metal. It's a fact. Says Hake, who doesn't know anything about music. At least more cowbell. God bless. Well, thank you, Stephen Absolution. Appreciate the support. That is kind. Let me double check these super chats on Odyssey. Shout out to the Odyssey crew. Don't insult James O'Keefe. He's one of the better ones. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, James O'Keefe. O'Keefe is Irish, huh? That's an Irish last name, I guess. O apostrophe something. Usually means Irish, I guess. That's true. Yeah, I like Irish. But as far as this Chris Murphy guy, he's one of the worst types of white that you can be. Irish, Polish, Polacks. Anyway, let me get to a call or two, guys. John in Kentucky. How are you doing, John?
I'm good, man.
No man is good.
Got a question from, yeah, I'm good. I got a question from your show yesterday, man. You lied and said Jesus was a white boy. You know that ain't true.
Megyn Kelly said it, and she's more of an authority on the facts than John from Kentucky, I dare say, even though she is a woman.
That's another lie. But anyway.
But it's a lie to say that you're good. So we're a bunch of liars today, I guess.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Jesus said, what color was Jesus,
Jesus said, no man is good.
What color was Jesus?
White as snow.
That's a lie, Hake.
No, it's
not. Even if you're joking, it's a lie.
Mm-mm.
What color was his skin, Hake?
I have no idea. No, actually, I have an idea.
What does the Bible say?
Olive. Olive.
The Bible says olive?
Yep, olive-skinned.
That's another lie, Hake. You're a devil, man.
Oh, it says the devil.
You can't be serious.
Two devils fighting.
Tell your listeners what the Bible says.
It doesn't really. The New Testament doesn't really reference it. Because the New Testament, the actual Bible doesn't care.
Brass?
Huh?
Does it not say he has skin the color of burnt brass?
I don't know. The New Testament doesn't say that.
Yes, you do. You've read the whole Bible, Hake.
I know, but I don't remember exactly, but the New Testament doesn't say that. And burnt brass is the color of
7 lies already.
The burnt brass is the color of my freckles.
No.
So he was tan. So he had a good tan, huh?
On your face. It's the color of a dark penny. That's the color of Jesus.
So he had a good tan. Hulk Hogan.
The original. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
The original Hebrews were dark-skinned people on the continent of Africa. Is that true or false?
I doubt it.
I knew you was a liar, man. You can't even be honest. I can be honest about anything.
You think that I'm going to...
I can be honest about anything.
No, you're not honest. You called yourself good. No man is good, but God.
I'm good.
So...
Or you don't have emotions.
Do you not understand English?
Jesse said he don't have emotions. Do I not understand English?
Right.
Do you understand how things are translated when it says no man is good? Do you understand how that's translated?
Yeah.
You're taking it in English and saying no man is good. So
morally good, yeah.
That's impossible. That is impossible.
It's impossible for no man to be good? So
right.
So it is the case that man can and has to be good.
A man can be good, yes. But let's not get away from what I called about, man.
Okay.
I mean, you can hang up when you want to, but
All right.
Jesus is a black man. Okay?
No.
Nobody.
What in the world?
Nobody. Nope. You can laugh all you want to, but he is not a Caucasian. He is not you. Okay.
I never said he was. You're the one saying that he's you.
Every picture you've ever seen of Jesus was a Eurocentric painting.
Nope.
You guys whitewashed all that stuff. You're a liar.
Nope. Not true, man. You just sour grapes because you blackwash everything.
It's sour grapes.
You're accusing me of doing what you're doing.
Everything doing what you doing. But anyway,
doing what you're
doing. Everything's being revealed as we speak. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. I'm kind of skipping around.
All right.
America is never gonna get back to the way you guys whine and cry every day on how you want it to be. It's never gonna be that way again.
I'm
it's
not
only
that
gonna
much
get
of a.
worse.
Do I whine? Am I a whiner and crier?
You're whining as you're saying that. Just listen to your voice.
Come
that's how your
on,
voice
man.
is.
Come on. You told me that I'm
whining?
entertaining. Whining is not entertaining.
Yeah, entertaining because, man, I look at you and
people
and
who
you
whine
just
and cry are
lie.
not that entertaining. Although blacks
You
do
lie so
cry and
much.
complain a lot, but they're entertaining. But not when they cry and complain so much. Can only take
I
so
think
much
all
of that.
races are entertaining. Hey,
That's kind. That's nice. Thank you.
yeah, but, I mean, we're a special people. That's why God made us his chosen. We
Lord.
just got to come back to his law, statutes, and commandments, and everything will be all right. He'll put us on high. And it's going to happen. 'cause
You don't
we're
know
growing.
the future.
We're growing, Hake. We're growing.
Growing
Okay.
towards Satan?
So,
You know who
No.
else? You know who else was growing? The people who
You're
built the
Satan.
Tower of Babel.
you're
that's-
growing towards Satan.
Did you know that the Tower
you're-
of Babel was growing
No.
toward heaven?
I know that you guys are growing and you've been running this kingdom for many a year, but that's coming to an end.
Are you
It's all
celebrating
written
that?
in the Bible.
You're not gonna. Life won't be pleasant for even the black Hebrew Israelites when the whites, if and when the whites continue to lose their rightful place.
Why do you think so?
Because whites make things good for everybody.
Did Christ not say he would come back and put everything in order?
He did. He already
But
did
see,
that.
y'all don't believe that, though.
He already did
Y'all
that.
don't believe Christ is... No. He did not do that.
Yeah, he did.
Because he said it would be peace on earth. There's not peace on earth right now.
There are peace for the men who have returned to good.
There is peace. There is
yes.
peace.
Thank you for the grammar correction, Mr.
Yes.
Goodman.
But he said
so
when
you
he
don't
come
believe,
back the
so you
last
don't
time,
believe,
he's gonna...
so you don't believe Jesse Lee when he says he has perfect peace.
Listen, I don't
That's
believe
peace
too
on
much
earth.
of what Jesse says, okay? Jesse has
So how
his
about
own
how about
religion.
his statement about perfect peace? You don't believe him?
Perfect peace? No. Man, Jesse... Man,
How can a
I
man
don't
be
believe
good
any-
if he doesn't have
Look,
peace?
Listen, the perfect peace he's talking about is you just let life be and everything will take care of itself. That makes no sense. Man has to set goals, okay? You have to set goals. Jesse just said, just let it happen. Just sit back and let it happen. That makes absolutely no sense. And he has
But-
hundreds of thousands of followers, and people believe this crap,
You sound jealous.
including you.
You sound jealous.
No, I'm not jealous.
No, listen,
I'm just
Jesse Lee has
I'm just
peace.
dumbfounded on y'all's ignorance.
Not to make this too much about Jesse Lee, but I just want to make a point. Jesse Lee has peace, but he also fights for what's right. You don't see him complacent with the evil in the world. No, he pushes to wake others up. With
See,
or
I could say
without
something.
setting goals, you
I
see him
could
fighting
say something.
every day.
I could say something, but you'd hang up. But he don't have perfect peace. Trust me on that.
Oh,
I do
okay.
keep
I
up
will
with y'all.
trust John in Kentucky, who thinks he's good, but
Yeah.
he has no perfect peace.
Unless you want me to say it. I mean, I can say it.
You want to be evil? You want to get yourself banned or
That's-
something like that? Because
that's-
I don't
that's
even
not
know what
evil.
you're talking about. But it sounds like you're an evil snake. It sounds like
I'm
you're
not an evil snake,
an
and I
evil
don't
snake,
care
and
about
you're not a
being
good
banned.
person.
I am a good person. I
No,
told
you're
you that
not.
earlier.
No, you're
And I
not.
don't care about being banned. You always threaten people, man. You always threaten people about being banned. It's just your show.
I know,
not the
and
end
you
of the
call
world.
it. You've been calling in for like
Yeah.
a year.
I do because I told you I find it entertaining.
See?
And so you always whimper down and said, "Do you want to get blocked?" That's just like a sissy move, man.
No.
always threaten to trying to block somebody.
Did you know that?
It's usually always the black people too. You
I
always threaten to.
don't know about that, man.
block-
I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Black-hearted, for sure. But I appreciate it, John. It's nice to hear from you, I guess.
Yeah, man. Y'all try to keep y'all's perfect peace in y'all's perfect little world or perfect little bubble or whatever.
Very kind. All right, take care. Adios. Let me get to Rich in San Francisco, California. Rich, how are you doing, man?
Been doing good, man. How you been doing?
I've been fine. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Stay close to your phone. You're coming in slightly muffled. Stay on your regular phone. No speaker, Bluetooth headset.
How do you feel about that Texas shooting? Pretty big, huh?
It was a pretty big shooting. I don't really feel anything about it. But I was like,
America's numb to the whole situation, huh?
Yeah, I mean, even with the
Happens
very
every
first
day, right?
Yeah, even with the very first shooting in Columbine, the one that I referenced with Bill Clinton pretending to be all somber and stuff like that. It's all politics.
As Americans, we
it's all
don't really
politics,
care, right?
and it's all hype. Nobody cares.
Politics.
Not one human
Nobody
being cares.
No, they shouldn't. I don't know why people offer up thoughts and prayers. That doesn't do anything.
Thoughts don't do anything. Actual prayers do, but people aren't praying to people aren't praying to God. Think about the country that elected Bill Clinton twice, re-elected him. I don't know about the prayers of those people.
My more thoughts are about thoughts and prayers.
No Christian would vote for Bill Clinton.
I don't care about if you're a Christian or not. I don't care if you believe in a fake person.
Okay, thank you.
A fake being.
A fake being, a phony?
The only thing thoughts and prayers do is make yourself feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. It doesn't do anything for anybody else. It's a cop-out.
Same thing with so-called gun control. It only makes people feel warm and fuzzy on the inside.
Really? So what countries have done gun control and haven't had a major shooting since?
I'm not sure, and I don't care. I don't want to be like those other countries. Those are not the solutions.
You don't want to be like other countries.
Those aren't the solutions.
You want to put a Band-Aid on a decapitated person and say, he'll be fine.
No, that's what gun control is, putting a Band-Aid on. That's not what I want.
Gun control is putting a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah.
So countries like Australia, when they had a mass shooting.
Australia is not free.
And they had a mass shooting since.
Why don't you go move to Australia and go get locked down and be a cuck?
Locked down? I don't care.
I know you don't care.
I thought you cared about the kids. Are you pro-life? Aren't you pro-life?
Yeah. That means don't kill the
kids.
That means don't kill the babies.
Don't kill the babies.
Yeah.
Once the babies
Did you know that?
Rich?
Rich. Did you know that schools are gun-free zones?
All schools are gun-free zones.
Yeah, schools are gun-free zones.
So in Texas, where
did you know that means?
Go buy
did you know that
a bottle
means
of whiskey and probably get a free gun?
Did you know that means ducks in a barrel? That's ducks in a barrel when you have a gun-free zone. Easy pickings.
Really? So it's not that the schools are underfunded, and let's throw more guns at the problem.
Easy pickings.
You know, more guns equals safer neighborhoods. Right?
True. Yeah, more guns, less crime. It's a fact.
More guns equal less crime, but America has the most guns, and we lead it in crime.
That's because of the messed up. Hold on, man.
Let's all get that.
Hold on, man. One at a time, buddy.
USA #1, right?
Man, will you be quiet and let me respond? Or are you just going to keep on?
We're number
are you going
one,
to rattle? Are you going to keep on rattling off at the mouth, or are you going to have a conversation?
I want to know if you think USA.
Are you going to rattle off?
#1.
Are you going to rattle off at the mouth, or are you going to have a conversation?
Oh man, I mean, you could talk, but I want you to agree with me. USA is #1.
Be quiet, Rich. You're rattling off at the mouth, man.
We're #1 in gun crime. #1 in school shootings.
There's no such thing as gun crime.
#1 in mass shooting. number one in people incarcerated, but we're like 57th in math and science. So, yeah, we are on the right track. Is that what you're saying?
We're on your track, really. We're on the track of the people.
We're on the right track.
We're on your track.
What's my track?
Your track is the liberal track. That's why we've gotten to where we are.
What's liberal about? Okay.
Females in charge.
Being independent. Females in charge.
Yep.
But aren't
females
right
like Bill Clinton, females like Eric Holder, Barack Obama, females like Rich from San Francisco, California. If you correct for the black population, our crime is not that high compared to these other countries.
So let's say the blacks make up 10%,
Hispanics,
but are you saying they do the
most
crime?
Hispanics are the second most prevalent, have the second most prevalent population of violent criminals, statistically speaking. Blacks and Hispanics. Are you Hispanic, Rich?
Let's see where you're getting. Where are you getting your statistics from?
Are you Hispanic?
Well, that didn't answer my question.
I don't care to answer your Reddit bro question. Are you Hispanic?
It's not a Reddit bro question.
Yes, it is.
Actually, where are you getting your statistics from?
Everybody,
FBI, DOJ.
Are you pretending you don't know that blacks and Hispanics are disproportionately represented among violent criminals?
So are you saying that a community or a race that has 10% of the population is doing 90% of the crime?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they're disproportionately represented, and when you correct for them.
What is the percentage of African Americans committing crimes?
It's overrepresented. I'm not interested in your numbers, man.
What do you mean numbers? You mean facts, or you want to go off of what?
Yeah, I go off the truth. You're just ignorant, so you're just trying to.
So
you're ignorant. You're ignorant. You need to go do your homework if you're interested in these numbers.
But you haven't given any facts.
Yes, I have given facts.
Blacks. Okay, what is the numbers?
I don't care about the number. It's a fact.
You don't care about the numbers, but you don't have any facts.
I gave you facts. You don't know what a fact is?
You didn't give any facts. You said what I hear or what I've heard. That is not a fact.
I never once said what I hear or what I heard in this conversation.
No, you say that a lot.
I say it a lot.
What I heard was.
I say that a lot, but I didn't say that in this conversation, did I?
You do say that a lot, but when it comes to
did I say that in this conversation,
numbers,
Rich?
What are the numbers? Waiting for the numbers.
Oh, okay. So you're not interested in the truth then?
No, I'm interested in the numbers, which is
then go look up the numbers, Rich. Here, let me give you the sources that are your homework, and then you can come back and report to me.
Not my homework.
Yeah, it's your homework because you want to know. So let me give you your homework.
Well, you said you knew, but you didn't give any numbers.
I don't have to give numbers to know the truth that blacks commit more crime. I don't have to give you specific numbers. How dumb are you?
10%, like I said, so 10% of the population.
They're not 10%.
90% of the crime.
Rich, you're making up numbers. Rich, let me give you your your homework. I'm putting Rich on hold. The place to find your numbers, if you are a numbers guy. Real Vincent James. What is that? What's his website? dailyveracity.com and crimeresearch.org. Dr. John Arlott Jr., PhD. crimepreventionresearch.org. Both of those guys have been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show a number of times. They are numbers guys. Most of us are not numbers guys. We just know the truth. We know facts. But Rich, who is on hold, giving us a little break of uninterrupted talking. Rich, check out crimeresearch.org and Daily Veracity. Hold on, man. I'm still talking to you, man.
We're not numbers guys.
Rich, go to crimeresearch.org and dailyveracity.com. And
why don't you go
that's
off
your
the
homework.
DOJ?
That's your homework.
Why don't you go off the DOJ?
I've been to the DOJ and I've found the same numbers bear out. What?
Why don't you go off the FBI?
I did go off the FBI,
so if
but
you're saying a population that has 13% of the population gives 80% of the crime.
I never said 80%. Why do you keep on making up numbers, Rich?
making up numbers.
Yeah.
I'm throwing an analogy out.
An analogy?
Because it's all hearsay that you say.
No, it's not hearsay. It's the truth, man.
Oh, I'm just saying. So throwing more guns at a problem equals, more guns out on the street, which equals more shootings in the street, which equals more mass shootings out there. Throwing guns at a problem doesn't really work.
But that's not what the problem
But
is.
thoughts
The problem,
and prayers do. I mean,
Rich,
thoughts and prayers
Rich.
does wonders.
Rich, mass shootings are not a problem.
Mass shootings are not a problem.
Nope.
How many mass shootings have we had in a week?
I have no idea.
Just one
Most of
week.
them are blacks, though.
You have no idea.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's not a
Was
problem.
There a mass shooting? Was there a mass
It's-
shooting in Buffalo?
It's not a problem.
Ooh, that one stings. Was there a mass shooting in L.A.?
It stings
The
you?
L.A. area.
It stings
About
you,
an
Rich?
Asian, about an
Rich,
Asian man walked into a church.
Rich, are you going to shut up and have a conversation?
Oh, there was also a mass shooting yesterday.
Okay, goodbye, Rich. What a mess. What an arrogant, blind, ignorant mess. Oh, man. Okay, so, yeah, the crimeresearch.org analyzes both FBI, which FBI has incomplete data, and DOJ, Bureau of Justice Statistics. I've looked at those, and yeah, blacks commit the disproportionate crime. And then Hispanics closely behind. And crimeresearch.org, dailyveracity.com, and while you're at it, amren.com, right? The color of crime. amren.com. This is 2016 stuff. It's old news. It really is. If you want to be ignorant, then be ignorant. So, thank you, Hake, says Angela. Angela, I guess, is sick of hearing Rich out of the Facebook crew, the faithful few. Lines are full, guys. Yeah, what in the world was that 10 and 80 stuff? Do you want to respond to this, Chris? Chris is over here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Popping off.
I don't know what he was getting at. Yeah, like I said, this is so like 2016 stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't honestly admit to yourself that non-whites are overrepresented based on their population in violent crime and just those types of crimes,
Yeah.
I mean, you're just living in another dimension. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell if he was trying to get you to say 13 do 50 or something.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't even know if he's familiar with the 1350 myth.
Yeah, that would
it's
be
a myth. It's a
wouldn't
dog whistle.
Wouldn't that be funny
It's a white
if he actually doesn't know about the 13 do 50?
I bet that he doesn't know
and
that.
he was just like making that up.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny actually, but I don't.
Maybe he's that smart that he was trying to get me to do that. But
Yeah,
I wasn't-
It was just so funny. Oh, what are you saying, Hake?
Right.
I love that phrase. I love that phrase. So what are you saying? Well, I said words. Did you hear the words that I said?
Right.
Do you understand?
He said, you haven't given one fact, but it's a fact that if you correct for the black population, America is not that different from these European
Oh,
countries.
dude, some of the numbers are just staggering.
Yeah.
I mean, again, yeah, if you correct for the non-white population, I mean, it's like violent crime, like education,
Right.
obesity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, a lot of these problems.
Not that whites are doing well. We're not
No,
exactly
we're
doing
in a
well.
decline for sure.
Yeah.
We're in a decline. But I mean, diversity is not helping
Yeah.
the situation. But yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of more of a deep-rooted kind of spiritual situation, but we're just adding fuel to the fire when it's
Yeah.
adding diversity and all that jazz.
What's 1350, asks John Frederick. That's 13% of the population, blacks, commit allegedly around 50%, maybe more, of the murders, according to the numbers, FBI, whatever. But yeah, I'm like, my point was, this is not like what you said. This is not a problem. It's a symptom of the issue. It's a symptom of messed up families, spreading of anger, women in charge, which women raise thugs, and women make stuff worse. I mean, it was women were behind the female thinking behind the shutdowns, which made stuff worse. The shutdowns, I heard, kind of prompted this other Buffalo guy to go nuts. And all these addressing of symptoms. Oh, let's clamp down on the China virus for these old fat people. Close everything down. And it caused other problems to happen. Same thing with the gun control. We're addressing the liberals are addressing symptoms, the guns, and not the root issue.
Yeah, and I mean it's also just not not that feasible.
Right.
I don't even want to entertain letting the Second Amendment go, but it's just is it more guns than there are citizens?
I think so.
And then again, they're living in this fantasy land. Like, okay, so no guns whatsoever.
Estimated over 400 million guns in the United States between police, military, and American civilians.
And then they're so snooty about
98% in civilian hands.
Entertain this, James. So if guns didn't exist, there would be no gun crime.
Yeah.
Whoa. Mind-boggling.
Yeah. And then what kind of society would we have? Not a free one.
Yeah. Like, oh, man.
I want to
totally
be Australia.
Yeah, absolutely.
That island country.
Yeah. Well, I mean, literally, like, move to Australia then.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then, like, just the snarky attitude is just, it's the worst. It's one thing if you're this kind of like libtarded guy, like that guest you had on last week. At least he's not real nasty.
Right.
He's not real snarky. I mean, he's dead wrong about a bunch of stuff, but geez, he's just misinformed. But these like snarky, nasty people, absolutely insufferable.
Yeah.
I'm just over here just like holding the desk, seething over here. It's the worst.
Well, I appreciate it, Chris.
Yeah.
I have this chart. Well, I'll share this chart later from Asmodor over there in the Odyssey chat. Check out odyssey.com, odyssey.com/@the-Hake-report for real chats with real historians and data people. Very nice. A few more super chats here, guys. Lines are full. I will get to you. Lord Bibby42 asks, Hake, is Alexander's month up now? He means well. Just needs a little guidance from his mentor, James. Says Lord Bibby42. Well, thank you for the bright idea, man. Jib Jab says, nothing really important to say, just hope all is well. I appreciate that, Jib Jab. Thank you for the support and the super chat. Lord Bibby42 asks to John from Kentucky, whom I just hung up with 15 minutes ago. John, how are you going to call in complaining and call somebody a sissy when you the one acting like the sissy? You little sissy boy. Whoa, that's his words, not mine, John. I disavow Lord Bibby's calling you that. You ain't even worth the time. I got stupider listening to you cry and talk spit. Go home, Holmes. Thank you, Lord Bibby42. Appreciate it. Lord Bibby42. Based Bibby. Isn't that peace and quiet kind of nice? Let me quickly get to Ursula in California. Ursula, are you there?
Yes, hi.
Hey, nice to hear from you.
Thanks. So that was, I like those last two callers. I like when you have lively, discussions like that.
Yeah. Are you on a speakerphone? You're coming in a little like
No,
muffled.
I'm not. I'm tortured with my phone to my ear. So
okay.
I could put you on speaker. It'd probably be better.
Let's try it.
Want me to try?
Sure.
Okay.
Ursula, you've called in before, have you?
Hello?
Yeah, that sounds actually better.
Okay. Yes, I've called in and I've,
Nice.
gotten after you about being anti-Catholic. But that was like almost 2 years ago.
Right on.
So, let me just say something real quick. You've gotten really good at debate. Okay?
Oh, appreciate that. Thank you.
Super good, yeah. And so my comment feels outdated now because it was the first caller. But my point is, be careful what you wish for Black people. Like, this whole browning of America. Do they really want to live in a non-white society?
I don't think that they will.
Awful.
Yeah, it would not be it will not be as civilized. It will not be as safe. It will not be as well-to-do for anybody, or I mean, for by and large for people. They complain about inequality, but they're the ones who created the inequality by shutting stuff down and all this commie capitalism.
Everybody in my family, my dad, me, my sisters, everybody has been a victim of a crime, and it's always been black people.
Wow.
Actually, for me, it was a black woman and a black man, but
yeah,
most part black men. And I'll let you go because I hate when women call. So, so sorry.
No problem.
But
That's
my
funny.
last comment about Australia is Australia's population of black people, and they're not American black people.
Right.
They're like Africans, right?
Aborigines or whatever. Yeah.
No, not them.
Not even
them.
the Aborigines?
Oh, they're all right, right?
I don't know. Yeah,
I've
but
been to
so there are
Australia. You don't see
African
them.
blacks who go over to live in Australia.
Right, like, people from like Nairobi, Kenya, whatever. But
Okay.
my point, let me just get this out and I'll hang up. They have not even 1% of the population in Australia, whereas black Americans are, as we know, actually it's getting closer to 14%. Look out. So, that
Right.
explains the whole, gun crime, blah, blah, blah. So that's all.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. And I hope you cover Nancy Pelosi and the communion thing.
Oh, okay. Thank
All
you for
right.
the request. Take care, Ursula.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Wow. Man, we're getting close to the top of the hour here. Let me actually get right to some music, shall we? This is Vollmar, 13 or so people who need chances from, I think, 2004, if I'm not mistaken. The first track is William Go Away today. William Go Away. And the second is A Man Talking to His Dog. I think you may enjoy these. It's soft old Justin Vollmar, Volmar, on Blue Sanct Records. Grin and bear it, ya musical Philistines. Press mute or don't. Shovel snow, rake leaves, plant your garden, or be a hater in the chat. Here it is, Vollmar, and I'll be back for hour 2. Hang tight. First is William Go Away. Nice.
It was the other day, she saw him standing there, looking in the mirror, looking backwards to the room. William, do you think we'll ever get to run away? Not just in a car, but by a boat or by a plane. You're working on a stay, but William, it don't pay. In the mirror, everything is calm and cool. Life is just a picture, and a wife is just a fool. Honey, don't you know that I don't care to run away? Plenty here to offer if we live the honest way. Oh, honey, don't complain. You see, it's all so clear. William, go away. I don't want you no more. What I want is something new. You're really a bore. William, don't you stay. I don't need you no more. You are such a hopeless fool. Just walk out that door. many things I must try and count. You see, I've pit myself against each new cloud, and I still can't clearly see to count.
Isn't this nice? Hake is okay, but he cannot touch the radio.
Two young girls and a son who'll fight. I got a polished gun and a handsome bride. Sometimes I'm wrong and I feel so right.
Hake, no joke. Nice music. I have little tears in my eyes. Amazing. Thank you, Steph K.
Got two young girls and a son who'll fight.
This song is Beta.
Got a polished gun and a handsome bride. Sometimes I'm wrong and I feel so right.
Glad my stream is behind, says Robert Lee.
A handsome bride.
So chill.
Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm wrong.
Oh no, get Rich back on the phone, says Vicious. Isn't that nice? Thank you guys bearing with me through that beautiful music. It's unfortunate Hake is tone deaf, just like the bands he listens to. Well, guys, I appreciate it. This is 100% better than the stuff Hake has played in the past. Nice. Thank you, Time for Truth. You know, there was another super chat that I neglected to read over on Odyssey. Asmodor stated, Revelation 1:15, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many watchers. This means his feet were glowing. It's a description in a vision of John, not of Christ in the flesh. That's right. And fine brass is different from burned brass, and anybody, literally anybody can have brass skin, pretty much, except for the dark, dark blacks, obviously. Right? Right. Hake's music is so bad, I want to slap the cat, the dog, and the paint on the house, says Evgeny Crosby. That's cold, man, but thank you for the support. Terrible. Well, let me get to Joseph, a first-time caller in California. Joseph, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm fine. How are you doing?
Doing fine as well.
Thanks. I'm a huge fan of your show. Great work.
Appreciate it.
My question is, sorry, what was the question? Oh yeah, why aren't these children shooting back?
Why aren't they shooting back? Because they are unarmed children. They are ducks in a barrel. Easy pickings. According to Nick, the anchor baby, Nick Stream, host of Nick Stream, according to Wisconsin Politics, or WIS Politics, I guess, Robb Elementary School is among the most Texas schools subject to the Federal Gun-Free Zone Act, meaning guns not allowed on campus. That means a criminal who comes with a gun on campus is the only man who's armed, besides perhaps a cop. Like one or two cops. That's not good. Terrible, huh?
That's amazing.
Yeah. They're not shooting back because they're not armed.
Well, yeah. That's totally right. And another reason I would say is, it just goes right back to why you're sending the kids to school. Like, it's like this last, I forgot what his name was, but the last caller was saying, oh, you want to throw guns in the street? You want to just throw guns you want to throw guns and throw guns in the street?
Right.
No, like, I'm going to say, if it's my son, he's not going to go there.
Right. And that's not because of the
armed.
fear of guns. It's the fear of the evil female-minded teachers who are trying to brainwash the children into liberalism, even in Texas. So you're right. They had no business being in public school. Most of us went to public school, and the younger and younger ones are more and more brainwashed. But even the people who are my age are subject to that propaganda, fake propaganda about racism and the LGBT agenda. It's evil. That's a good point.
And they should be. We should have the young men. We should be teaching them now, like how to wrench on a car and stuff like that. You know, get them. Hey, come change the oil instead of going to school, and get them doing something.
Yeah.
That's actually going to work. That's not a piece of paper.
Right.
That costs you $25,000.
Yeah, that stuff just makes boys angry. Schools, it seems like, especially today, are geared toward girls and not toward young men. And so the young men are getting diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, and we should be out playing and learning and doing useful stuff and not this female type intellectualism, emotional intellectualism. It's so true. You know, Dylan Roof.
We'll get back to. Oh, go ahead.
Dylan Roof, before he did his church shooting at the black church in South Carolina or wherever it was, he thought of going to shoot up some drug dealers or gang members, but he's like, those guys might shoot back. Let me just go to a church and do a Bible study where people are unarmed.
Nowadays, that's the number one place people will need to have them, and the schools.
Yeah.
If you're going to send your kid to a school or to a church school, that's the number one place because they know that, they're just pacifists, they're just whatever, you know, they're just Christians, they're just weak Christians or whatever.
Yep.
And then they get shot up.
Yeah, nowadays, that's why I tell people, you know how the China virus, you're supposed to avoid crowds. Well, I tell people you're kind of supposed to watch out and be aware and avoid crowds in general already because they have terrorism, and people are crazy. We have criminals and terrorists running rampant and crazy people.
It's the fathers that are missing. That's why.
Yeah. Yep. It's a good point. Well, I appreciate it, Joseph.
All right. Thanks, James.
Good to hear from you.
You have a good one.
All right. You too. Art in Ohio is on the line addressing something in John in Kentucky said. What's up, Art? How are you doing?
John from Kentucky said that you ain't never banned nobody, kicked nobody off the show, and I want to say that's BS because you did that 2-3 weeks ago with some old girly boy that was just like that caller Rich that you just hung up with 2 calls ago.
Oh, yeah, I did ban some. Yeah, I've banned like multiple people. He said that you generally mostly ban blacks, but I've banned Hispanics, I've banned alleged Asians, whites, I've banned plenty of whites, so-called whites. Yeah, it's true. I'm an equal opportunity banner.
Yeah. You know, I might not agree with you on everything you say or whatnot, you know, particularly with the Bible or whatnot, but
it's really not important. How important? The Spirit is what's important, not the color of Jesus. That's a distracting thing to get people hung up on the physical and not their own character.
Yeah.
John in Kentucky lacks character. He thinks he's good, but he lacks character.
You said what's his name again?
John in Kentucky. He thinks he's a good man, but has no peace. He's a judgmental, blind person, shallow.
I thought his name was Rich. The caller that was over talking. He like the caller.
Oh yeah, him too. Rich in California. Was also dumb and shallow.
Oh, you talking about the dude? Okay, yeah, John was the dude. Okay, guys.
Yeah, John was the guy who said that Jesus is black.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
The long story short, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even with him and whatnot, I mean, I can understand if you was wrong about 95% of what you're saying, but no, you right about 90, and you in the 90s about everything that you be saying. I agree with typically everything that you be saying, so I can't sit and disagree with you about the Bible all day instead of not getting to actual factual stuff that's going on. And as far as with these school shootings, this is what happened when these Democrats and these betas and these females are running things. If you go to any of these little schools up here in where I'm at or whatnot, most of them, they're not being ran by males no more. Most of them have female principals, female teachers. So when these kids get to fighting, there's not really no men to be able to come. Now, I'm not saying it's all the schools and all that like that. Most of these schools is real bad. You can look right into them, and they being ran by females or whatnot. And they're not breaking up a lot of these fights. Truth be told, they're not even looking at these signs of a kid that's about to probably do something like what this shooter did down there in Texas or whatnot, because everything will be all right, and then 2 weeks later he comes to school with a gun and shoots it up just because the female, her whatever her type of mind frame is, everything will be all right, he's not going to do anything, and then he do something.
Yeah.
But I said this, and I said this 6-7 months ago. This is what was going to happen and whatnot. You don't lock all these people down for all these little couple years. Don't interfere and mess with these kids mentally, emotionally, and physically. And then you wonder why a lot of this stuff is happening or whatnot. And then the dude, this is what the story is. The grandmother said the grandmother got on his nerves, did something to agitate the boy, and he went and shot up the school. It's always turning back and going back to a female.
Yeah. And like Chris said in the experts segment on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, was this grandmother was that active in his life that he was angry at her? And where's the mention of the father? I might have heard something about the mother, I'm not sure. But this person who allegedly wore eyeliner, who knows? Some people say he was a transgender, I don't know. But
the dude
he was
the school up?
Yeah, I don't know though.
Shut up. Are you serious, Hake?
Yeah, I better shut up because I don't know. I don't actually know for sure. So, yeah, we'll see.
It's gonna come out. But what you think? So, what you think about Father God? You know, that's blessed me with that vision. But what you think about RDR predicting that about the little terrorists or whatnot coming through the border or whatnot? Because allegedly, up here in Columbus, Ohio, they found some dude who was trying to plot on killing George W. Bush and said he was tied to ISIS.
Wow. No,
you didn't hear about that?
I had not heard about that. But it doesn't surprise me because people are crazy.
And allegedly, the FBI spoiled it, caught it before it happened, which I just don't be.
That makes me leery.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm in the middle because it's like they had that one dude who's in the FBI. I know it's some good FBI agents. Let's just put it like that in layman's terms.
Fair enough.
It's some good. They ain't all liberal, dumb, and bad and messed up. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's definitely some good. There's some good in everywhere. But nah, yeah. I'm about to say I seen that, and I'm about to say that. I mean, that just goes to prove what I was saying, man. A lot of these stuff is gonna be going on and happening. And it's going to stem from that border. But I'm going to go ahead. I just wanted to get my little tag team match in with you or whatnot. And I'll catch you later, all right?
That sounds good, Art. Appreciate it. Take care.
Yes, sir. Hey, and tell them we still rolling with Trump.
Indeed, we are. Take care. So, let me tell you, Bill Clinton talked about, before I get back to calls, hang tight, callers, and you can call in. But let me tell you about this grief counselor bogus speech. BS bogus speech. Don't get nervous. Hat tip to one of the former JLP guest hosts. I'm blanking on his name. That's where I got bogus speech from. Texas school shooting. This was a Los Angeles Slimes article. How to Help Kids Get Through Unspeakable Horror by Laura Newberry, a staff writer at the Los Angeles Slimes. After this shooting that left 18 children dead at a Texas school. Forcing parents in schools once again to confront how to talk to kids about violence. Experts told the LA Slimes that these are complex and sensitive conversations, also vital, especially for the children of today who've endured a pandemic. The children did not endure a pandemic. They endured communist shutdowns, female-minded shutdowns, and scared females, women, who are angry. Put on your mask. No. On top of all of those existing pandemic-related chronic stressors, no, the female-minded overreaction to this scamdemic, right? Anyway. Added fear of sending their children to school, says, here's the first expert, Catherine Williams, a woman, child and adolescent psychologist, professor of psychiatry at University of California in San Diego. Tip number 1, check in with your child and talk to them about their concerns. Mental health professionals advise the first thing parents should do is make sure their child or adolescent knows they are willing and available to talk with them. Duh. Tip 2, give kids reassuring facts about their safety. Parents should immediately reassure their children that they are safe. That might be a lie. A practice that extends to all trauma survivors. What a mess. Treat children according to their age. Give young children only brief, simple information. These children are less verbal, so they may communicate about their anxiety by drawing or playing. Answer their questions with specifics, but don't overload them. You're already overloading me, women. Limit exposure to the media. That's a good advice. This is true for youth of all ages. Violent images can cause secondary trauma. How about scared hype? Anyway, we should limit the media of other children who are grown adult children, that is, the females. Don't worry your pretty little heads, ladies and female-minded males. You know how we're all getting so much info? And sometimes you just need to tune it out. Pray, be quiet. Violent images can cause secondary trauma. Symptoms of this in children include chronic fatigue, anger, poor concentration, fearfulness. Developmentally inappropriate information can cause anxiety and confusion. For younger children, every time they watch the news, they feel like it's a new event as opposed to repetition of the same event. Important for them not to watch too much, says another female expert, Carol Vidal, child and adolescent psychiatrist, that's the ones who push drugs, at Johns Hopkins University, told the Times back in 2019. Model healthy behavior. Yeah, that's something the women don't do. Bashing the women today. Shout out to the Facebook crew. They like it. Children pick up everything their parents are saying and doing. Parents can set an example. I've seen male boys. That's redundant. Male boys acting just like their mothers. Oh my gosh, doesn't fit. Turning off the television, radio, or social media can be constructive for parents to acknowledge that constantly watching or hearing about a violent incident makes them too feel anxious or fearful. Maintain routines. That's good advice, I guess. Blah, blah, blah. Have a plan. Have a plan. That reminds me of what Jesse Lee was talking about in the experts segment. The drills. Observe children's emotional state and seek help if necessary. And what type of help do they go to? Grief counselors and stuff like that. What a mess. So it's a mixed bag. Typically get a mixed bag from these liberal news sources, liberal media sources. Shameful, huh? No mention of God. No mention of men. Putting men in charge. Look to the men. Nothing you can't solve with a good beating, says Blark. I disavow. Well, never mind. Do you want to hear more traumatic stuff? How about let's trauma say his name? You know how blacks are all traumatized? Let's push this. Let's push this on black children who are getting brainwashed generation after generation, and adult children. Isn't JLP a counselor? Yes. A real one, a Christian, and a man, and a pastor. Not like these phony psychiatrists and psychologists and females. The far-left female-run outlet, The Skim. Let's repeat a fake traumatic event that people falsely relate to. Georgia, Florida. Georgia, Florida. Today marks 2 years, say the ladies at the Skim, since a Minneapolis police officer killed a black man, killed him by kneeling on his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Fake news, or at least suspect news. It was more of an overdose, in my opinion. Plus, he asked to be put down on the ground, and then he couldn't breathe. Now, on the anniversary of Georgia, Florida's death, sleepy Joe Biden is expected to issue an executive order, yep, one of those pen and phone things, aimed at reforming federal policing. Get rid of the federal police. They're one of the most corrupt police organizations in the country, if not the most. That includes directing... You know what? I heard something from the FBI. This is a side note. I was listening to TKR Official on Telegram. I was looking at it, actually. And there was this clip from Cheryl Atkinson, I believe it was. Cheryl Atkinson, former female journalist, but a legitimate one, as journalists go, for CBS News, who has documented real things happening. And she stated, under oath, I believe, she was seated next to James O'Keefe. I believe I saw Louis Gohmert and Matt Gaetz, a couple of the more relatively decent congressmen. She stated that the FBI had considered falsely planting child pornography on her husband's laptop or computer to shut her up, because she has been exposing, or at least shining a light on, or investigating, journalistically, the feds and the corruption there. Isn't that wild? Talk about corruption. I wonder if Sleepy Joe would reform that aspect of the federal police. Do feds actually plant child pornography? I wouldn't put it past them. And then they have like a young daughter. Talk about messing with families. So evil. That's the feds for you. So what Sleepy Joe wants to do is, going back to this anniversary of Georgia, Florida's overdose. I call it an overdose. You can call me fake news if you want to. Directing federal agencies to revise their use of force policies, creating a national registry of officers fired for misconduct, using grants to encourage state and local police to tighten restrictions on chokeholds and no-knock warrants. Meanwhile, a state investigation last month, I told you about this one. The state of Minnesota, right? Minneapolis, Minnesota. State of Minnesota, one of the more corrupt states, right? Very corrupt. Their attorney general is that evil guy, Keith Ellison, a light-skinned black Muslim, who is SJW Antifa supporter. State investigation last month found MPD, Minneapolis Police Department, engaged in discriminatory race-based policing for over a decade. Evidence that will be used to force the department to change its practices and policies. Just replacing the white cops, going after the cops, the sensible cops, going after the manly work of looking out for the community, and putting it into a more liberal mindset, which is not based in reality. It's true. Sleepy Joe does not have the best interests of America at heart. So, nor of the blacks, because they scare the blacks, because the blacks scare easily. They're brainwashed to believe this racism thing is real. And they're so brainwashed that they racially profile this white cop, Derek Chauvin, as being a racist. He had that racist smirk on his face when he was kneeling on the neck, like we've had America's white knee knelt on our neck for 400 years. And to this day, oh, what a mess.
You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day.
That's right. Spiritual battle. Anyway, that's that for that. Let me get to Graham in North Carolina. Wants to talk about this gun crime hypocrisy stuff. Hypocrisy? What's up, Graham?
Hey, what's up, Hake?
Hey.
Well, I was calling in because he had asked about statistics with the gun violence.
Rich,
but you listed off some good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Statistics. Yeah. Well, there's another website called Just Facts. I know you don't know anything about it, so I don't want to promote anything on your show you're not aware of, but it's just statistical data, really.
Yeah.
And they have different sections. And the guy does it, I'd say he's probably more conservative because, you know, when you see the truth, you would probably be more of a conservative, a real conservative.
Right.
And so he, I can't remember the guy's name who runs it. He's interesting, but he responds to people too. But it's one of the only websites that certain colleges allow for students to reference in their papers and stuff. So it's got some credibility there too.
Yeah.
And of course, our guy in America First, Vincent James, does an amazing job.
Real Vincent James, yeah.
For anybody listening wants to know. And when I was reading on Just Facts, what I remember reading myself with my own eyes, that's why you should do your own research. Basically, just having a gun reduces crime. Not even having necessarily to use it,
right?
But just the presence of a gun stops crime. And there's statistical data that basically around 50% of all crimes that would have taken place, or maybe even worse, were de-escalated or stopped simply from the presence of a gun, without even the gun needing to be discharged.
Right.
So people say, well, guns cause violence, guns kill people. Well, in that case, guns also stop violence, and they stop crimes from happening as well.
I heard a number from Sean Hannity back when I used to listen to him, like 10 or so years ago on the radio, that guns stop more crimes than are committed with guns. More crimes are stopped than are committed, thanks to guns.
And so there's another funny statistical anomaly. You know, it's easy to play with statistics and trick people. Well, people say, you know, cars kill X amount of people every year, right? Or you're in a car crash, you might die. Not that the car literally did it.
Yeah.
But no one, and the only reason people quote that and say, well, then you could say, well, let's get rid of all cars, right? But no one ever talks about is that, what about all the lives that are saved by cars with ambulances and people be able to get places faster, where they get life-saving, whatever. You think about the medical system these days, but at least for a while, the medical system seemed to have been a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's easy ways to manipulate stuff, trick people, all that. That's basically all I have to say. And
very true, man.
For anybody listening who is genuinely curious and not just being a snake and not just conning to be snarky, for people genuinely curious, or if this is like a new thing that you're hearing about, or you've only gotten one side of the story this far, that's why you tune into Hake News, because he's going to give you the truth. Go look that stuff up. So that's basically all I got.
I appreciate it, man. Graham, are you the one who called in? There have been a couple of guys who've called in who heard of me from the Wrecking Crew, TK, the Crypto Report, Asmodor's show, or was that somebody else?
No, I've just been watching Jesse for forever.
Oh, nice, man. Because I was going to say I'm going to be on Asmodor's show this Saturday, the Crypto Report.
I actually checked out his show because of you.
Nice.
So, there you go.
Right on,
but,
man.
No, I've seen you in, like, Merce's chat sometimes.
Oh, cool.
Guys.
Yeah.
And we used to follow each other on Twitter, but I got my account suspended. And what else?
Terrible.
There was one other thing. Anyway.
Well, I appreciate the calls,
I
man.
donated that $100 to have you look at that Confederate black and white video. It was like a really old video.
Oh,
I
okay.
remember that.
All right. Man.
So,
okay.
I support it when I can.
Nice, man. Appreciate that. Resend me that video if you ever, if you have it handy sometime and you think of it. The Hake Report at gmail.com. Resend me that video. I'd like to see it again.
Yeah, it was just cool, really old footage. It really wasn't relevant to anything. I just thought you would think it was neat.
Nice, man.
Right.
All right, take care, Graham.
Yeah.
In North
If
Carolina.
I can find it, I'll send it.
Sounds good, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Bye. So we're at the bottom of the hour here, guys. Let me talk briefly before I get back to calls, quickly, about the primaries. You know, the primary elections. It's Sarah Sanders. I call her Sarah Sanders. She calls herself Sarah Huckabee Sanders. You know, these women who want a name for themselves. They keep their maiden name and put their maiden name to be their middle name. I don't like it. And so I don't call, who's that female who got onto the Supreme Court with the black Haitian adoptive children? That Trump, yeah, ACB, Amy Barrett. Coney, Amy Coney Barrett. Coney was her maiden name, and she kept it. What a mess. Same thing with Ketanji Onyeka. Ketanji Onyeka Brown was her maiden name, but she kept it Ketanji Brown Jackson. Shameful. Anyway, I beat that horse to death every time I come across it. I'll kick it again. She won her primary. She won the Republican primary. She was the lady who was, she was Trump's press secretary for a little while. She was smart-mouthed. I like that. Tough, as ladies go. But come on. She's trying to be governor of Arkansas, is it? Is it Arkansas? I think Arkansas. Blech. Her father was this nicey nice Christian, or is this nicey nice Christian who plays the bass. He plays the bass or guitar or something like that. Mike Huckabee. Ran for president, this Christian guy. Governor of Arkansas, yeah. Former. Thank you. We need men to be running the show. Stop kissing up. Stop it. Stop it. I'm okay with Kemp winning his primary. Actually, he is not. This is Governor Brian Kemp, the guy who did not fight that hard, in my opinion. And I think factually speaking, he probably did not fight that hard for Trump's re-election in 2020. Really ensuring election integrity, in my opinion. I don't know. Brian Kemp. He was not the most insufferable of the anti-Trump rhinos. I don't remember him being too anti-Trump excessively. I did not like Brad Raffensperger. Brad Raffensperger, I feel like I had more of a problem with Brad Raffensperger, who was like the Secretary of State or whatever of Georgia. I know that Sion over there in Georgia is not happy about Kemp winning. But I say vote for Brian Kemp and vote for based Brian Kemp. I'm lying. And beat, metaphorically speaking, of course, whatever her name is. What's her name? Stacey Abrams, the Democrat, black female, fat black female. Kay Ivey, that deep-voiced woman whom people falsely accused, I assume, of being a lesbian. Old lady. She won the Republican primary in Alabama as the governor. Despite concerns she was too strict on her China virus policies. Yes, she was caving and giving in to the communist mindset. And she used to be a Democrat, by the way. Texas runoff elections, overshadowed by the Robb Elementary School shooting. Ken Paxton won as Attorney General. He beat out George P. Bush. Is George P. Bush the one who was pro-Trump? The one Bush who was pro-Trump, and I think he's like Jeb's son, so Jeb's wife is this little Mexican lady or something. Or Colombian lady, maybe. I forget what Jeb's wife is. Goblina? What's that mean? Goblin, a little goblin. George P. Bush, if I'm not mistaken, is the pro-Trump guy. He looks like a Mexican. He's mixed. But he lost to Ken Paxton. Whatever. So we'll see what happens. Sorry, I meant to say fat. Oh, somebody said that Sarah Sanders is more manly than the liberal men. Yeah. Yes, vote for Sarah Sanders. Do not elect. You know, as the ladies go, but come on, she's a married mother. Of relatively young children, if I remember right. Vote for her over the Democrat, yes. We'll see what happens. We shall see. We need a cultural change. Is that not true? Yes, it is. Let me quickly get to Jeremiah in Louisiana. Jeremiah, how are you doing? Thank you for holding. Oh, man. He's not.
This is the day
Ooh, lucky
the
Betty.
Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it.
This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord
First off,
has made.
I would like to send my condolences out to the Northern Kingdom.
We will rejoice and be glad in it. Who put him on hold? I think Daniel put you on hold. Go ahead. You're back on air. You want to give your condolences to the Northern Kingdom?
Yeah, I would like to give my condolences to the Northern Kingdom.
Your phone is.
Pain,
You out in the wind, buddy?
Yeah, ain't no trees out here in the boonies.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about this great replacement thing, right?
Okay.
I've been hearing it for a little while. I think I first heard it in that Charleston march with those those guys out there, Edomites out there.
Charlottesville. They said Jews will not replace us.
Would you say we're in white rulership?
No.
We're under white. Whose rulership are we under? We know we're under rulership, right?
Yes.
Okay, so whose rulership is it?
Satan's children.
Which are who?
All different races. It's a lot of Jewish people are overrepresented.
All different races.
A lot of Hispanics, blacks.
I didn't know we had that much power. But it's funny you say that.
You don't have any power. You have no power.
So how are we under rulership? How are we in rulership if we have no power?
Well, you're not in power. You're not one of the blacks.
So how do we have rulership? How do we have power?
You're not.
We don't have power.
Are you one of the blacks in power?
If we're in rulership, how do we not have power?
You don't have power. You specifically don't have power.
But I'm saying black and brown. You said that we have power, but we're not under rulership.
Right. What the heck? I'm talking about there are blacks and Hispanics and Jewish people and fake Christians and a small handful of whites who are in the government. But that's not real power, and that does not include you. You're not in the government.
Okay.
Do you vote?
So I can't vote for y'all. Y'all, no.
You don't vote at all?
No, not at all. I look at policies and I see that they're all influenced by Edomites. So no, I don't. I don't see anybody for us. But Rhino, like I know Jesse didn't want to answer that, but rhinos and liberals, right? Y'all get mad at those because they have an individual way of thinking, right?
Well, we don't get mad at them, and they don't think as individuals. No, they do not think as individuals.
They don't think with the status quo though.
They have a group. They have a group mindset.
Okay, so the conservative people that you follow, y'all don't have a group mindset either?
We don't follow conservative people.
You don't follow Carlson Tucker? At all? You don't listen to him at all?
I listen to him. I don't follow him.
You don't follow him?
No.
You agree with a lot of stuff he said.
Correct.
You follow Jesse, though?
I do listen to. I listen to him. I don't follow him.
You work for Jesse.
Yeah, I work for him.
All right, but the group that y'all subscribe to, would you say that y'all are a group that y'all have like?
Yeah, there's groups
not like an
for
individual thinking type of thing when you were a group.
We're
it's a
Christians.
unified thing.
Yep.
You don't have to be ashamed to say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do y'all feel about the Great Replacement? Do y'all think it's a myth, or y'all really think it's going on?
I mean, we don't think. You can plainly see that. I don't know about Great Replacement. I've never used that term, but you can plainly see that the demographics are quickly changing. Have been changing for decades against whites.
these Jews and these the small amount of, I guess, whites and the blacks and Hispanics, they're trying to replace y'all? Is that what that whole thing's about?
Yeah, they don't like conservatives, Christians, normal whites. They don't like men running the show.
And then,
yeah.
I mean, you can't just blame that. You got to blame God, too, because your seed is spoiled.
No, that's dumb.
Your seed is spoiled.
That's dumb.
And
you don't believe
really
in
can't
God.
Take the sun.
You don't know me.
Can't take the sun, so you have to put God in that, too.
No.
You got to put nature in there.
I don't have to do anything but stay white and live. I don't have to do anything but stay white and live.
Y'all really aren't having babies like that. So you got to kind of put God in there. But anyway,
no. No.
I see you throwing out a lot of facts, but you don't really have numbers. You were Jesse. That's kind of interesting. I'll just say.
I'm not interested in numbers. I've never been a numbers guy.
So what facts do you have?
Have you ever told me numbers?
Yeah, I have, as a matter of fact.
What numbers have you ever told me?
I've told you plenty of numbers.
Name one number that you've told me.
I've told you life experiences, and I've told you numbers. I've told you the majority of the targets are black and brown people.
That's not a number.
What's been going on?
That's not a number.
It's mass in a mass situation. This is mass. This is a general situation. Black and brown are being targeted. That's number.
You're filibustering. You're filibustering.
There's been 2 mass shootings in the past week.
Okay, that's one number from.
You don't really
that's one
numbers.
number from.
That's one number.
2 mass shootings in the past week. That's the first time I can remember.
So y'all are saying all this stuff.
Jeremiah from Louisiana giving me a number. Nobody thinks in normal people don't think in numbers. Specific numbers.
Okay, well, these mass shootings are happening. You know.
You gave me.
And I'm not.
You gave me two in the past week. That's.
I'm not.
Real aggressive statistics there, buddy.
In the past week, Hank. That's in the past week. Y'all
talking
about all this stuff about don't have sympathy for the kids.
You changed the subject, buddy.
Y'all are saying don't have sympathy for the kids, but have sympathy for the shooter.
No,
but y'all
man.
have all the sympathy for Derek Chauvin, but have no sympathy for George Floyd. That's crazy.
You're crazy.
Crazy. That's downright hypocritical.
Literally nobody said that, by the way.
You're
putting words in my mouth.
Do you love George Floyd?
No, he's dead. What's to love?
Wow, thou sayest. That's all I need to know. What do you mean? Words in your mouth.
Do you love the dead?
I didn't have to put no words in your mouth.
Do you love the dead?
I didn't have to put any words in your mouth.
Goodbye, Jeremiah.
Y'all don't even respect.
Terrible. Here's another number for Jeremiah, since he gave me the number 2. I'll get with his number 2. I'll give him another number 2. 2 years sober. Think about it. What a mess. Terrible. I better not get too into that. Let's get to Serge in Missouri. Serge, how are you doing? Thanks for calling.
Great, James. How are you?
Fine.
I don't know if you remember me. I called a couple weeks ago.
Vaguely, yeah.
Shout out to the Wrecking Crew, Andrew Anglin and Nick Fuentes.
You're the one who called in. Yeah, I'm going to be on Asmodor's show this Saturday. Heads up.
Yeah, I know that. I'm looking forward to it.
Right on.
Well, 2 things happened yesterday. One of them obviously overshadowed the other. And so I kind of want to talk about both, but I don't think there'll be enough time for both of them. So I guess I'll have to call another day.
That's cool.
Yeah. So obviously there was the Texas AR-15 massacre yesterday, and also the CDC released numbers on fertility by race from 2021 yesterday.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. And so which one do you want to talk about?
No, you pick. You'd go.
Okay. I guess this shooting will be memory hold, so I guess I might as well talk to that. And, the CDC will be another day. Okay.
All right. That sounds good, man.
So, but yeah. First, I'll just briefly mention that the CDC thing. Only whites and Hispanics had more births year over year last year than the year before, while all other races declined. But I'll foreshadow for it. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Sounds good.
So for the shooting that took place, I know I speak for a lot of people who won't admit this, but as soon as I saw the race of the gunman and the race of the victims, I kind of stopped caring as much as I would have.
Yeah.
You know?
Understandably.
I mean, think about it.
Because they use it to go after the whites, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because think about it. This took place, let's be honest, this guy, he might have been an illegal alien and he killed a bunch of anchor babies. How does this affect me? You know?
Yeah, true. In fact, it only affects that community and the people related to them. That's who it affects. That's those who should be addressing the issue. These should be local issues. It's not a national issue.
Yeah. It's just like all these gangland shootings in, like, you know, Chicago and Baltimore. It's like, this doesn't affect me, so it's not my problem. I'll start caring about all this stuff when these people start caring about, you know, our people, like the overdoses and suicide and white genocide and all that stuff. I'll start caring when they do, which will be never, obviously, right?
Yeah. That's kind of cold, but it's understandable. And in all honesty, God's way is not getting all emotional about this stuff, anyways. You know what I mean? That's not showing actual love. These people who are getting feeling, you know, the thoughts and prayers empty thing, or even the gun control empty thing. It's all phony, for sure.
Well, I mean, it sounds cold. It sounds cold, but I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how everyone. That's how everyone is.
It's true,
and they won't admit it. They just look at it and they just do a quick double take and like, okay, it doesn't involve me or my people, so I'm just gonna, you know.
Yeah.
But, so what happens? Like, I've noticed that there's a meme that goes out when these massacres happen. Like, it's kind of like a failsafe. You know the movie, the 1950s movie, The Failsafe? Failsafe?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, I think it's like a metaphor
very cultured.
for a gun. I think it's like a safety, like, but anyway, it's like, you know, whenever you zig, they zag. I think that's kind of how it works. So, whenever the gunman is white, they don't talk about gun control. They talk about, like, white privilege control and all of this. So all these measures are taken to, like, harm the white collective. But whenever it's a non-white gunman, then they talk about gun control, because and what gun control really is just taking guns away from law-abiding white people while letting, you know, non-white criminals continue on because they don't obtain their guns legally.
Yeah, it's true, man.
Like, all these metaphors they use all these anti-white metaphors like poverty and oppression and NRA. It just means white people.
Yeah.
So it's the fault of white people that this illegal alien trainee killed all of these anchor babies. It's white people's fault somehow.
Yeah, that's what they wanted. That's what they always exploit a crisis, and never honestly. It's evil. It's good versus evil, man. I appreciate the points, man.
Yeah, that's all I had to say about that. And I guess I'll call another time to discuss the birth rates, because there's good news on the horizon.
I do look forward to that, Serge, in Missouri. Take care, man.
Hey, take care.
All right. Wow. Let me get to William in California. He wants to talk about this gun control thing. William, in California, are you there?
Hey, how you doing, James?
Fine, sir.
Hey, James, now is this was that somebody in California talking about, oh, sure, just put more guns on the street?
Yeah, it was Rick in San Francisco. Rich in San Francisco.
Is he in San Francisco for real?
Yeah.
Check this out, young man. You ain't going to the Fillmore. You ain't going to the Swampy Desert in Sunnydale. You ain't going to Hunters Point. You ain't going to Double Rock and saying nothing. Sit down. Now, I'm going to go to what used to happen back in the day. One time I ended up having a drink with an old teacher. He gave me some information. I went to school from 1966 to 1982. I didn't do anything special, no college, just junior college, and I'm out, go to work. Mr. Trick has told me that briefcase that you seen those teachers take to the cars, you know what was in there? I said, yeah, our homework. He says, no. It was a gun.
Nice.
A lot of teachers carried
right
back then. And guess how many mass shootings we had?
Zero.
Yep. Okay. Now, this was not just one teacher. He says it's going to be pretty much 40% of your teachers carried. And nobody came to those schoolyards and did anything. Or they got their cap peeled back. So They have done this in California. You just informed me that they did it all over the country. They have made police squad cars. They don't want them, 1,000 feet away from any school. And they put gun-free zone signs under the name of the school at all the schools. Now, for you over there in San Francisco, you need to shut up, dude, because I don't feel no empathy or sympathy, and that goes to everybody with that madness, because what you need to do is have some concern of how you go to those voting polls and having those people push these policies on your children. Because I guarantee you where this shooting was near the Mexican border, and you can rest assured all those kids, they died, their parents are liberal.
Probably a fair guess. I appreciate it, William.
I just wanted to empty my rack and throw that out there. Teachers used to carry.
Yeah. Yeah, we had men who were logical back in the day, and we were more decent.
They were also 40%. 40% used to be straight. Yeah.
Right.
If we had a gay teacher, he didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Now, this thing Saturday you were talking about, what time is it?
Oh, it'll be at 7 p.m. Pacific time, I believe.
And the name of the channel?
Asmodor on Odyssey, ODYSEE.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
so,
guy.
And you can check out,
James.
I will be posting it on the HakeReport.com.
Tell your boy Jeremiah your name is James, not Hake. What did he say? What is it? Tell him it's Hake. Or whatever
Hake.
He calls you, man.
Right. Sounds good.
Tony called me Uncle Tom the other day, and I'd say thank you. I finally made it.
Yeah.
Because blacks that try to do the right thing, live right, and tell the truth, that's what they do to other blacks. They do drive-by shootings and try to kill each other and say, you're an Uncle Tom. So, Tony, thank you. And my name is William, not William. Thanks.
Thank you, William. Appreciate it.
Tell them to learn the English language. You live in America. I'm not William, and Williams is a last name, and William is my name. Tell them to look up and see how powerful it is. Take care, man.
You as well. All right. So let me show you a couple of little headline things, or whatever these you might want to call these. Don't know if I'll be able to get to your calls, guys, because we're getting close there. But let me just show you. There was this silly thing in People magazine. This is the female mindset. Margaret Atwood, this is from People magazine, little headline here for you. Margaret Atwood uses a flamethrower on a quote-unquote unburnable edition of The Handmaid's Tale, which is apparently pro-abortion propaganda, to protest book banning, meaning book burning. The fireproof edition of The Handmaid's Tale, which is a TV series, and I guess it's a book. Maybe it was a book before that. Will be on exhibition in Sotheby's, New York, from June 3rd until the auction on June 7th, with proceeds going to that fake free speech journalist organization, PEN America, P-E-N America. PEN America pretends to be for free speech, but they're not. They're not. They're for freedom of the deceivers to deceive, not for freedom of we the people to have our free speech on social media and the media at large. So that's a dumb, silly propaganda thing. This female mindset of killing the babies, and then the babies come back who survive and kill the other babies. Talking about these school shootings. And another thing that causes school shootings, if you care about school shootings, that what was that thing? I saw this on the host of Goodnight Groyper. Imagine by John Lennon. That's another, what is it, a nihilist, atheist, godless, evil world. Imagine. Stay out of your imagination. All imagination is the devil. Do you live in the wilderness? John Lennon, you know the guy from that British band, the lame British band, the Beatles, who got himself shot by a fan in front of his yard, I think. Imagine a John Lennon cover. Commie Nonsense Network, I have this, I don't know who these people are, but it's so lame looking. Imagine by John Lennon. It's a cover. This song about peace and unity feels very right in this moment, says CNN. Take a minute to listen to this uplifting cover rendition from singers around the world. And you can click to view it. Well, you can't click on that to view it because this is just a screenshot. But it's, look at it. It just looks like dumb liberals. All musicians are liberals or communists, enemies of humanity. Music. All musicians. Every one of them. Including Johnny Rotten and who's that guy who came on the Jason Lee Peterson show when Hassan guest hosted? Ted Nugent. Liberal. Sorry, Ted Nugent. I like you. But that's imagine no religion, no God, no blah, 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 blah. This is what we're getting. Those people who love that song are running the show now, those dumb boomers, whom I love boomers. Beta Leg says, God, imagine there's no John Lennon. Imagine there's no heaven. No blah, 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 blah. It's a... And actually, the guy I mentioned, Goodnight Groyper. What's that guy? Dalton Clodfelter, right? He's... he said that his grandpa, I think, loved that song because it was like a warning. This is what you get with no God. And it is, what it is describing is actually hell. But in John Lennon's mind, John Lennon was this dumb hippie who married an Asian. He thought that it was heaven. He thought that it was utopia. Don't fall for it, guys. That causes school shootings. One of the mass shootings, and or I don't know if he did a mass shooting. Remember that Supreme Gentleman, the son of like the Supreme Gentleman, the incel, who killed some girls. He hated girls. He was resentful of the girls because he's a Supreme Gentleman, and they paid him no mind. He was the son of a liberal, like a Hollywood type, who also married an Asian, I think. He was a mixed. What a shame. Anyway, thank you guys. This has been the Hake Report. Steve in New York City is sick of these America haters. Rick in Hampton, Virginia wanted to talk about the Texas shooting and media hypocrisy. And the rest of the callers, I cannot get to you. Check out Bond Archive Sunday service. And we will see you tomorrow, hopefully. Thanks and take care. Adios.